Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel आकाश ट्यूटोरियल्स। आज का हमारा टॉपिक है डिप्थीरिया। डिप्थीरिया होता क्या है? डिप्थीरिया मुंह, गले और नाक में पाए जाने वाले जीवाणु द्वारा होता है। डिप्थीरिया के कारण गले के अंदर में चारों ओर एक झिल्ली विकसित होती है। इससे घूंट लेने में परेशानी व श्वासहीनता हो सकती है और यहाँ तक कि दम घुटने जैसा प्रतीत हो सकता है। जीवाणु एक विषैला पदार्थ पैदा करता है जो शरीर में हर तरफ फैल सकता है और इससे गंभीर समस्याएं पैदा हो सकती हैं, जैसे कि लकवा और हृदय की निष्फलता। डिप्थीरिया से संक्रमित लगभग 10% व्यक्तियों की मृत्यु हो जाती है। Diphtheria is a serious disease caused by a toxin, that is poison, made by bacteria. It causes a thick coating in the back of the nose or throat that makes it hard to breathe or swallow. It can be deadly. Diphtheria is caused by a bacterium, Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Spelling is Corynebacterium. Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Diphtheria. History of diphtheria. Diphtheria once was a major cause of illness and death among children. The United States recorded 206,000 cases of diphtheria in 1921, resulting in 15,520 deaths. Diphtheria death rate range from about 20% for those under age 5 and over age 40 to 5 to 10% for those aged 5 to 40 years. Death rates were likely higher before the 20th century. Diphtheria was the third leading cause of death in children in England and Wales in the 1930s. How diphtheria toxin affect the cell? Surface bound toxin enters cells by endocytosis. The endocytic route used being are normally followed by the receptor. Certain toxin plus receptor complexes enter via plasma membrane derived vesicles whose cytoplasmic surface is coated with the protein clathrin. Now, stepwise, we will know about how the bacteria toxins affect the cell. First is processing. It contains two parts. First, the leader region is cleaved during secretion. Second, proteolytic nicking separates A and B subunits which remain joined by disulfide bonds until they reach the cytosol. Second is the toxin binds to heparin binding epithermal growth factor precursor, that is HBEGF. Third is the complex undergoes endocytosis by the host cell. Fourth is acidification inside the endosome induces translocation of the A subunit into the cytosol. It contains two parts. First is disulfide bonds are broken. Second, the B subunit remains in the endosome as a pore. Fifth is a subunit ADP ribosylates host EEF2. EEF2 is required for protein synthesis. When it is inactivated, the host cannot make protein and thus dies. The diphtheria toxin has the same mechanism of action as the enzyme NAD+, that is diphtamide ADP ribosyl transferase. It catalyzes the transfer of NAD+ to a diphtamide residue in EEF inactivating this protein. It does so by ADP ribosylating the unusual amino acid diphtamide. In this way, it acts as a RNA translocation inhibitor. The catalyzed reaction is as follows: NAD plus peptide diphtamide produces nicotinamide plus peptide N, that is ADP D ribosyl diphtamide. It is a reversible reaction. The endotoxin A of Pseudomonas aeruginosa uses a similar mechanism of action. Its incubation period is from 2 to 5 days with a range of 1 to 10 days. What are the symptoms of diphtheria? Symptoms of diphtheria are usually a low grade fever, sore throat, and a sticky grayish or white film on the tonsils, throat, or nose. Complications can include severe neck swelling, that is called bull neck, and upper airway blockage, which make breathing and swallowing more difficult. Diphtheria can also cause infections of the skin, vagina, eye, or ear, but this is less common. Skin infections caused by diphtheria may appear as a scaling rash or sores with distinct edges and a membrane. Infectious period of diphtheria is usually 2 weeks or less, rarely up to 4 weeks. What are the possible complications from diphtheria? Most complications of diphtheria are due to the release of the toxin or poison. The most common complications are inflammation of the heart leading to abnormal heart rhythm and inflammation of the nerves, which may cause temporary paralysis of some muscles. If the paralysis affects the diaphragm, that is the major muscle for breathing, the patient may develop pneumonia or respiratory failure. The thick membrane coating at the back of the throat may cause serious breathing problems, including suffocation. कोई व्यक्ति किसी संक्रमित व्यक्ति की खांसी या छींक से निकलने वाले जीवाणुओं के द्वारा डिप्थीरिया से ग्रस्त हो सकता है. Diphtheria is spread by direct contact with respiratory droplets of an infected person, such as those produced during coughing and sneezing, or contact with the discharge from source on the skin of an infected person. Is there a treatment for diphtheria? Yes. Diphtheria is treated with both antibiotics and with diphtheria antitoxin. Diphtheria antitoxin is produced in horses and was first used in the United States in 1891. Antitoxin does not get rid of toxin that is already attached to the body's tissues, but will neutralize any circulating poison and will prevent the disease from getting worse. The patient should be treated for sensitivity to this antitoxin before it is given. Diphtheria antitoxin, that is DAT. After completion of test to rule out hypersensitivity, a single dose of DAT, that is 20,000 to 1,20,000 units IV or IM in mild or moderate cases, immediately after bacteriological specimens are taken without waiting for results. DAT dose depends on area of involvement and severity of disease in the range of 20,000 for anterior nasal diphtheria to 1,20,000 for extensive disease of 3 days duration. Antibiotics. Erythromycin administered orally or parenterally for 14 days. Penicillin G administered intramuscularly or intravenously for 14 days, or penicillin G procaine administered intramuscularly for 14 days constitute acceptable therapy. Antimicrobial therapy is required to stop toxin production to eradicate C. diphtheria. How the penicillin works. Bacteria constantly remodel their peptidoglycan cell walls, simultaneously building and breaking down portions of the cell wall as they grow and divide. Beta-lactam antibiotics inhibit the formation of peptidoglycan cross-links in the bacterial cell wall. This is achieved through binding of the four-membered beta-lactam ring of penicillin to the enzyme DD transpeptidase. As a consequence, DD transpeptidase cannot catalyze formation of these cross-links and an imbalance between cell wall production and degradation develops, causing the cell to rapidly die. The enzymes that hydrolyze the peptidoglycan cross-links continue to function even while those that form such cross-links do not. This weakens the cell wall of the bacterium and osmotic pressure become increasingly uncompensated, eventually causing cell death, that is cytolysis. And in addition, the building up of peptidoglycan precursors triggers the activation of bacterial cell wall hydrolases and autolysins, which further digest the cell wall's peptidoglycans. The small size of penicillin increases their potency by allowing them to penetrate the entire depth of the cell wall. Now, diagnosis. The diagnosis of diphtheria can only be confirmed after a physician takes a small sample of infected material from the patient's throat and has the sample tested in a laboratory. Can diphtheria be prevented? Yes, the best prevention against diphtheria is immunization. There are four combination vaccines used to prevent diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis, that is DTaP, TDAP, DT, and TD. Two of these, DTaP and DT, are given to children younger than 7 years of age, and two, TDAP and TD, are given to older children and adults. TD is a tetanus diphtheria vaccine used to adolescents and adults as a booster shot every 10 years or after an exposure to tetanus under some circumstances. TDAP is similar to TD but also contains protection against pertussis. Adolescents 11 to 18 years of age, preferably at age 11 to 12 years, and adults 19 through 64 years of age should receive a single dose of TDAP. For adults 65 and older who have close contact with an infant and have not previously received TDAP, one dose should be received.